Manifest destiny was a 19th century belief that the United States was destined to expand across the North American continent. This concept was rooted in a combination of religious beliefs, cultural superiority, and economic interests that fueled the nation's expansionist policies during this time period. The idea of manifest destiny was first articulated by journalist John L. Sullivan in an article published in 1845, where he argued that it was the nation's divine mission to spread democracy and civilization from coast to coast. The concept of manifest destiny was deeply intertwined with the ideology of American exceptionalism, the belief that the United States was a unique and virtuous nation with a special role to play in world history. This belief was bolstered by a sense of cultural superiority over Native American tribes and other non-white populations, as well as a desire to expand the nation's territory and influence. One of the key drivers of manifest destiny was the economic interests of the United States. As the nation grew and industrialized in the 19th century, there was a pressing need for new markets and resources to sustain this growth. Expansion into new territories offered the promise of land, raw materials, and markets for American goods, driving the push for westward expansion. The Louisiana Purchase of 1803 marked the beginning of the United States' territorial expansion, doubling the size of the country overnight. This acquisition of vast new lands in the West set the stage for further expansion and fueled the belief in manifest destiny. The acquisition of Florida from Spain in 1819 and the annexation of Texas in 1845 further expanded the nation's borders and fueled the push for westward expansion. The idea of manifest destiny also played a significant role in the United States policy towards Native American tribes during this period. The belief in the nation's divine right to expand across the continent justified the forced removal of Native American tribes from their ancestral lands in the Southeast, a policy that culminated in the Trail of Tears in the 1830s. The concept of manifest destiny also played a role in the United States policy towards Mexico. The annexation of Texas in 1845 and the subsequent Mexican-American War in 1846 to 1848 resulted in the United States acquiring vast new territories in the Southwest, including present-day California, Arizona, and New Mexico. The war with Mexico was justified by the belief in manifest destiny and the idea that the United States had a right to expand its territory to the Pacific Ocean. The Oregon Trail, a key route for westward migration in the 19th century, symbolized the spirit of manifest destiny and the nation's drive to expand across the continent. Thousands of settlers traveled along the trail in search of land, opportunity, and a better life in the West, embodying the belief in the nation's divine mission to spread across the continent. The California Gold Rush of 1849 further fueled the push for westward expansion as thousands of fortune seekers flocked to the West Coast in search of gold and riches. The discovery of gold in California highlighted the economic opportunities that lay in the West and accelerated the nation's drive to expand across the continent. The concept of manifest destiny was not without its critics, however. Some argued that the belief in the nation's divine right to expand across the continent was a form of imperialism that disregarded the rights and interests of indigenous peoples and other nations. The Mexican-American War, in particular, was controversial and sparked debates over the morality of the United States' expansionist policies. Despite these criticisms, the idea of manifest destiny continued to shape the nation's policies and attitudes towards westward expansion throughout the 19th century. The belief in the nation's divine mission to spread across the continent fueled the push for territorial expansion, economic growth, and cultural dominance, shaping the course of American history and leaving a lasting legacy on the nation's identity